All right, all right. I'd like to welcome everybody to the town hall meeting for the town of Lemon Grove. This town hall meeting is going to be run by the mayor, and I just want to talk a little bit about the mayor at this time. Some of the things that the mayor has done here in Lemon Grove. Um, she's done some fantastic things in her past and also during this time of crisis. During her first term as mayor, Racquel Vasquez focused on balancing the budget in Lemon Grove after inheriting a 20-year-old deficit in spending. All right. She prioritized budget transparency with and also had built up infrastructure and quality of life improvements while protecting vital services that are important to the community. I must admit, I'm a transplant to California. When I first moved out here, I did notice that there were quite a few potholes in Lemon Grove. Just had to be one of those issues that kind of rang with me as well. And I know that since the mayor has been in office, she's done some great things in introducing a better infrastructure and doing some fantastic road work as well. That's built a great infrastructure for the city. Just wanted to take a minute and talk about how I met the mayor. My wife and I came out here. We do a lot of events with art, music, dance, culture, and we like to serve the community. And one thing about Mayor Vasquez is that that's a very a consistent part of what's true to her heart is serving the community. She's always out in the community, seeking out the opinions of the residents, people who live there, how she can make the community a better place for them. She works with the City Grove residents, and when I had the fortunate ability to also have programs run in Lemon Grove, the mayor was behind us and supported us 100%. So I can't say enough good things about her. Um, at this time, I'd like to welcome the mayor, and this meeting is for you, the town, to ask questions and to about issues that may address you as that you want addressed as well. So, Mayor Racquel Vasquez, the mayor of Lemon Grove.
Hi, and I'm so happy to be able to join you here today. Again, my name is Racquel Vasquez, Mayor for the city of Lemon Grove, and truly I want to be able to talk about our city. We have a wonderful city with so much potential, but we do have our challenges, and those challenges can be overcome while we support the vision for our future. Now, as a city, our priorities are to protect public health while maintaining the essential services that residents and businesses depend on daily. While we are all stepping up to care for each other in extraordinary ways, my colleagues and I will continue to be laser focused on supporting the recovery of our community, both socially and economically, with a sincere commitment to reopening Lemon Grove businesses according to the guidelines that are set by the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency. Right now, we are living our daily lives a little bit differently. And we know that Lemon Grove, we are a small city with a big heart, worthy of a truthful and transparent mayor who is committed to supporting our vision. And you may ask, what is that vision? It is a thriving, safe, and business friendly city with small town charm, offering arts, culture, and recreational opportunities for all residents to enjoy. I am committed to doing the work to support this vision, and I'm honored in this moment to be endorsed by the Lemon Grove Sheriffs, the Lemon Grove firefighters, elected officials, residents, and more. Now, if you want to see a full list of those endorsements, you can just go to my website, which is raquelformayor.com. That's www.raquelformayor.com.
Well, fantastic. And one other person I wanted to introduce here before we moved on, um, is Miss Joyce Moore, wonderful woman, the head of Thrive Lemon Grove, and together I've personally been involved in bringing some of the cultural events and some of the music, dance, and art to bring not only a joyful noise but a colorful and a more bright, beautiful place to Lemon Grove. So Joyce Moore is a fantastic individual. She's very dedicated to the community as well, and I'm happy to have her on the call. I mean, on the webinar. Yeah,
Thank
this
you
has
very
been an
much.
incredible. This has been an incredible year. Joyce, would you like to say a few words?
I would just like to say thank you first for being our moderator for this evening, and just shout out to the community and residents of Lemon Grove, and just thank you for all your hard work and your efforts to work together with us to make Lemon Grove a better place and to improve and being a part of the process. So a lot of times we look at the problems, but I'm here and I've been here for 30 years, my family and I, and I'm happy to say that my kids have been a part of the process as well. They have painted houses. They have picked up trash, and along with some of the school administrators, they groom them very well to be participants and to give back to the community. And that's what I'm here for, and that's why I'm here. Happy to be here to be a part of the solution, supporting a healthy, safe, thriving Lemon Grove. And I support Mayor Racquel Vasquez. She's in the community. She's a hands-on mayor. She's a woman of integrity, dedication, and commitment. And I support all of those characteristics. And thank you, Mayor, for all that you have done and that you will continue to do. And we will get behind you and work alongside you.
Thank you so very much. And it's truly an honor to serve our city. I do see the potential that we have, and it is important that in this moment, while there are so many issues, that we unite. We come together, we take our budget, and come up with solutions. Solutions to ensure that it is balanced and transparent, solutions to ensure that there is funding available to apply to each and every area that we need to apply that funding to, and solutions to ensure that our children can have a better quality of life. And not just our children, how about our seniors and our families? We all deserve a better quality of life. And while I serve as mayor, I will continue to be laser focused to ensure that we can, number one, create good policy to support the improvements that we would like to make in our city, but also to ensure that our budget is crystal clear, that it is transparent, and that your tax dollars are working for you.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, and that's important as well when you're representing a city. Now, it's interesting because we got a perspective from Joyce, who has been here for some time, and my perspective is relatively new because I'm new to San Diego, and new to the Lemon Grove area. But one thing that I will say is that. The support that you have for the community is unwavering. I know you've been in office now for 4 years, and I know there's been a lot of changes, and that's what I want to kind of move into and talk about. And 4 years, 4 years, it's been, and I tell you what, I say for at least 3 of those years, I knew of you, and you supported you supported not only the community, but you also supported the arts and cultures and bringing up the community to a place of enjoyment where people would have a wonderful place to live and enjoy. So I appreciate that that you've done. So, like I said, you're the mayor of Lemon Grove, been the mayor for 4 years. This year, the game's changed. All right. Um, with the way that COVID is not only hit Lemon Grove, but hit the world, hit the world, we've had to pivot. We've had to make some changes. We've had to make some adjustments, maybe even in either our budgetary planning or in a strategy for the future. Um, can you tell us about some of the goals that you have for Lemon Grove? Maybe some of the past goals that you've had, and maybe some of the goals that are going to change now because it seems that we're in a new era.
Absolutely. And I just want to let you know that before I became mayor, I actually served as a planning commissioner. A planning commissioner is responsible for looking at the zoning of our city to ensure that projects meet the guidelines that are set by policies. That is the true job of a planning commissioner. And I served as a council member for one term.
Mm.
Being part of the council, I was able to weigh in on agenda items, but ultimately, as mayor, you have the ability to set the agenda. And so that's the difference, council member and a mayor. And, there are challenges with the city, um, but also, too, financial challenges that must be overcome. And so I was sworn in December on December 20th of 2016 to serve as mayor. And one thing that I can say is that an open, honest, and transparent city budget for me is priority number one. Now, during my first term, I focused on balancing Lemon Grove's budget after inheriting that 20-year deficit spending that you mentioned earlier when we began the program. And with my leadership and guidance, the city prioritized budget transparency, infrastructure improvements, and quality of life improvements on a meager budget. Now, that's something that's truly hard to do. Now, it's important to note that the 2017 independent financial audit revealed that there were accounts that were set up that had no money. Some did, and staff was being paid out of gas tax and sewer fees. That was the standard practice. And in fact, that is an inappropriate use of our funding. With that said, today that practice is no longer in place, revealing that structural deficit that has been hidden for nearly 20 years. Now, it's not a spending deficit, it is a revenue generating deficit. And with my leadership and guidance, the city implemented a new, transparent, and easy to understand budget reporting system and improved the city's credit score. So, that's big. That's big for the city. And today, with this new and improved credit score, the city can bond or secure a loan if necessary. And you know, today we have a clean audit. Our budget is transparent. We got an easy to understand budget reporting system in place, and it's available. Our budget is available on the line for the public, the entire public to see. You can see how the money is being spent and applied in various areas. And just know that if I am reelected mayor for the city of Lemon Grove, I will continue this important work. It's very important because the only way that we can improve it in a community is if we have the funding to support the things that we all want and deserve. Pretty much that's a synopsis of where we are regarding our budget. And that's truly my number one goal because we can't move forward unless we fix the budget. We have so many wants and truly so many needs, but those wants and needs cannot be met today, but in the future, they can be met if we fix that structural deficit.
Amen. I do have to agree with that. It is very important, especially in these times, to have transparency, because there's so many ways to frivolously spend money. We're in a time of need right now, and things have to be prioritized, and people want to know that they're being prioritized. So having transparency in the budget is very key. Thank you for that. And it doesn't look as though the the times are changing anytime soon. And so it's great that, we can have a mayor that's already had the transparency, built up the structure, and now moving forward can take it to the next level. Okay, because this is this driving the bus. I applaud you for driving the bus during the time of COVID. Okay, I know that you've had many accomplishments in 2020, and I know you've had many accomplishments in your past. Um, Please share a few of your accomplishments. I mean, I want to hear your story. I know you, AKA, I know you probably, whatever, but, let's hear a little bit about Racquel and a few of the accomplishments you've had in the different phases of your life.
Yes, and so thank you so very much for that acknowledgement. Yes, I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated,
Kiwi?
but a tried and true member of this community. I love Lemon Grove, and I see this entire city as an extension of my backyard. And because it is an extension of my backyard, and it's truly an extension of all of our backyards, I take this job very seriously. And the kind of care that I give in ensuring that my household needs can be met is the kind of care that I apply to this lead of rulership. And in this moment, the one thing that I'm so excited to announce is that here recently, the city received 162 over $162,000 in community development block grants. And so let me say that again. The city received over $162,000 in community development block grants to support COVID activities. Now, there are certain parameters and guidelines that are set for this money. And with my leadership and guidance, um, I'm so happy to say here in this moment that the city will boost our current homeless program that has already helped over 90 individuals. And we will continue with the Feeding Lemon Grove food distribution program that's in place and provide child care assistance for essential workers and allocate funding to cover the cost of COVID-19 prevention. Now, we allocated this this funding very carefully. $100,000 will be utilized to boost the outreach program that I spoke of. We will deepen our nonprofit partnership and dedicate more hours to the homeless outreach program. We allocated $25,000 to continue our Feeding Lemon Grove food distribution program. Now, there's been a change. It will be on a bi weekly basis. And to date, we have provided over 4,000 families with food over a 27-week period. That's amazing. And we're doing that because we know that 33% of the people that are living in Lemon Grove are not working right now. Or perhaps some of them are starting to go back to work. And because some of these folks may be going back to work, and if by chance they are essential workers, we have allocated $15,000 in assistance for childcare and about $22,000 for COVID relief prevention. And so we are prioritizing the budget, focusing in on public safety, infrastructure improvements, and those things will continue to be a priority. Um, the one thing that I'd also like to highlight here is that with my leadership, the city also created a 115 trust to deposit one-time monies received for the city or by the city. This money will be used to pay down future debts, and this 115 trust is currently earning 9% interest for the city.
Wow. That's what's
9% interest.
yes.
So
Yes.
when we have to pay our liabilities, such as our pension liabilities, the goal is to ensure that we have the funding to do so. And other highlights include entering into a public private partnership with Outfront Media to build a new Lemon Grove gateway sign next to the 94 freeway near the Lemon Grove exit. This will generate $325,000 plus annually for the city for the next 20 years. And the city is now a passport acceptance facility. So you can take care of your passport needs at the city of Lemon Grove. And we also are receiving grants. And one that I'd like to highlight here is a $4 million grant to pay for phase 3 of the Connect Main Street project. Um, and we also receive grants to provide healthy lunches for youth and seniors. We receive sponsorship to fund park improvements. So you'll see more gazebos in our parks and public art projects and community cleanups. We also received funding to pay for the Lemon Grove Sheriff's Bike Patrol and the Tobacco Retailer Licensing Program. Our parks are now alcohol and smoke free. And in addition to this, we are participating in a pilot project at no cost to the city to install cameras that will, and let me back up here, to install these cameras are not able to record video, but will install them in high activity areas of concern. These areas include the Lemon Grove Promenade Park. Just note that there were already cameras installed there when Citronica was built. Those existing cameras will be upgraded. And then we're going to install these at the Lemon Grove Park, Firefighter Skate Park, and at the intersection of Massachusetts and Broadway. And so those are just a few highlights, and there's so much more. I think there's one other that I'd like to bring to light here. When I came on board, I participated in a process with the Old Globe Theater to bring arts and culture here to Lemon Grove. And I was part of a very important meeting to talk about how we could bring arts and culture activities into underserved communities such as Lemon Grove. And the end result of that was we were able to bring two performances per year to Lemon Grove for free. And in addition to these performances taking place, the folks that attended were able to get a free meal. And so there was a play here in the spring and in the fall that was provided by the Old Globe Theater. And that's something that has never happened in the city of Lemon Grove. We've also painted more public art, and you can see those murals located one in our downtown corridor area. And then we also have one on the side of the Lemon Grove Community Center. So those are just a few of the highlights. There's so much more, but also just know that there's so much more work to do.
Wow, that's amazing. That is, I'm learning. Like I said, I'm new to San Diego and new to the area. Although I have to say, I did get exposure to Lemon Grove when I was in the Air Force. I was flying a mission. I used to fly heavy cargo aircraft, and I flew a mission out here in support of the Navy. And I had a buddy of mine who we went to high school together. We were high school buddies in New York City, and he was stationed out here in the Navy. And so he got out of the Navy. He's a cardiologist, and he opened up a practice here, etc. So I came, and he was living in Lemon Grove.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I got to go. Of course, this is way before your time. You know, you were young. You were probably in high school, but
And I'll take that.
but I got to take a picture in front of the big lemon, and then I was here for a couple of days, and boom, I was off, But it kept in my mind, I said, that Lemon Grove, that's a cute little quaint town. You know what I mean? It just kind
Yeah.
of stayed in my mind. Never did I realize that I'd be back here one day, right? And the fact that you brought the Old Globe Theater to Lemon Grove, I mean, really? Wow, that's huge. That's huge. Um, as a New Yorker, like I said, I got to interesting story. I grew up in New York, left New York, and came back as an adult. So now I come back as an adult. I got a little cheddar. I got a little sense. I'm a little bit more mature. And they had Shakespeare in the Park in the summertime.
Yes.
So I had to go to see Shakespeare in the Park. You know, although I grew up in New York, now I had to act like a tourist. But it was a little difficult. But you saw a fantastic play in that Old Globe style. Okay, so having that here in Little Town Lemon Grove, that's a fantastic accomplishment. I really applaud you for that. That's some incredible
Yes.
culture here in
Yes.
such a small
And
town.
what they call it when they bring it to the community, the shows that we've had, it's called theater in the round. And what they do is they take the space. These productions occur at the Alvarez Auditorium at Lemon Grove Academy, and they take
Mhm.
the wide open space and they put the chairs around in a circle. And the audience is able to sit in those chairs, and the performers, the actress and the actresses, they perform while you sit around them. They perform right in the middle. And so it's almost like you're part of the action. And it's a really wonderful experience. My hope is to really try, as we move forward and past COVID, to deepen our partnership with the Old Globe and bring more arts and culture to the city of Lemon Grove. Another activity that is occurring, my children, my daughters, they actually danced at the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet Company. And right now, although can't say right now because of COVID, but um, the the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet Company brought free dance lessons here to the city of Lemon Grove, and those dance lessons are offered through the school district. And so students can participate in dance such as ballet and tap and jazz and modern. These classes are offered to our youth, and it's really a great way to, expose arts and culture to our future leaders. And so those are just a few of the things in the area of arts and culture I think are important to note, as we didn't have those things here in our city. But also, there's a group called Thrive Lemon Grove who has been very active and involved in ensuring that we have special events. And so, one of the activities that I'm so very proud of that we had for the first time in our city, it was a multicultural fair that took place at the Promenade Park, and there were performances from people of all different backgrounds, highlighting and showcasing dance and music and song, but also various booths with everything from food to clothing and just all sorts of things that really focus in on culture. And so I was really happy and I'm thankful for Thrive Lemon Grove for bringing that event to this city, along with House Gone Wild, to ensure that we had an amazing event. I believe in this moment, we probably had about, I don't know, 500 people or so attend that particular event. And I would like to ask Joyce Moore to share more information about that event, along with the Black History event that we had in February of this year.
Thank you, Mayor. So it has been said that Lemon Grove is the most diverse city within San Diego County. So
Wow.
that means we have a mixture, we have a variety, we have diversity, we're surrounded by it. And so one of the goals of Thrive is to um, meet diversity and meet our neighbors because we have more in common than we think. So we want to celebrate each and every diverse population, background, ethnic group. However, COVID kind of threw a wrench in that for us this year because we were looking forward to celebrating more diversity. So far we have the multicultural, which was just immensely represented by all different diverse populations here in the city of Lemon Grove. And so our goal moving forward is to continue to celebrate each other and to celebrate each group, because that's what make up the city, and that's really what make up our nation. And we are that everybody is important. We want to celebrate each other, and we want to grow and learn from each other. So we'll be moving forward. So we're hoping to have something even virtual before the end of the year to celebrate and bring to the community as well. Thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
so
that was
much.
an amazing event. I tell you, it was a pleasure being a part of that. And again, that kind of takes me back to how I met the mayor, where my wife and I came out here. I was an aerospace engineer, right? So I came out here because of work, because of my job, and we're a couple empty nesters, so we like doing things and bringing culture and bringing music and dance to the community. And when we tapped into Lemon Grove. And found Thrive Lemon Grove was also on the same focus, of bringing that to the community. So it was wonderful working with Joyce. I had done a few events, and that's where I met the mayor. We do an event on an annual basis. It's our Sabor Caliente, our Hispanic Heritage event. It would have just passed, as a matter of fact. It would have just passed last month. I had a date on calendar, etc. But COVID put the kibosh on that. But the mayor has supported us, and it wasn't even in Lemon Grove. It wasn't even in Lemon Grove, and we were doing this fantastic free event, giving back to the community. And she saw that, she supported us, and she says, "Hey, you know what? We'd like to bring something like that in Lemon Grove." But you know what? She turned it up a notch. Okay, we turned it up a notch. It wasn't just Hispanic, like she said. We took it and we made it multicultural because of how Lemon Grove has so many diverse cultures in it. And so it was a pleasure working with Thrive Lemon Grove and putting that event together, and bringing a beautiful event to the community. And the Black History event was another event. Fantastic. I can't wait until it's all over, or at least until we're able to get some more events on the calendar.
And Harrell, even notable here is a partnership with the Lemon Grove Community Health Center, and that partnership was with the health center. There was a health fair, and
Mhm.
you were there on that day providing entertainment,
That's
while
right.
Lemon Grove residents could get free health checks. And so I was really um, proud and pleased, number one, with the attendance, but the fact that our community businesses are available to ensure that folks can stay healthy. And so, I'm always out and about seeking opportunities to improve our quality of life. You will always see me supporting our events, reaching out to folks, meeting with constituents, talking with people, and helping out in any way that I can. Truly, public service speaks to my heart, and that's why I stand with people. And but leadership truly is a privilege.
That is fantastic. And thank you for that. That's right. We met before. Yes, exactly. I was doing an event, working with, again, uh, building up the community with health and human services.
Mhm.
And who was there? Of course, Racquel was there. So I forgot all about that. And what's funny about it is that there was a video that came up on Facebook today as a reminder of that event. So
Yeah, yeah,
fantastic.
yes.
And Hariel, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
So our goal when the promenade was built was to do just what we are doing and what we started doing last year. It took us a little bit to get there, but that was the original goal. And what really just spoke to my heart, I was in Santee and it was during the Christmas holidays. And I came out of the store and I heard the symphony, and I was like, "What is that?" And it was theirs is like a little sunken, and it's similar, very similar to our promenade. And I was like, the mayor wasn't the mayor then; she was on the planning commission. I said I would love for something like this to happen in Lemon Grove, and so when the opportunity presented itself, and it was the right timing was last year when we got it started, and we had many partners that supported us. Pastor Brian from the Engaged Church, the Lemon Grove clergy, the Historical Society, the Seroptimists, and the community at large, city council members. I mean, they were out there providing us with resources that we need, and just the community coming together and supporting the vision, because that's what it's all about. And the Citronicus and the other complexes right there, Celsius, that is so great for them to be able to come out and to bring their families to an event like that. So I just want to say to the community, just hold on, don't give up. We will be back. We will be back.
For sure, for sure. Hey, look, like I said, I'm an outsider looking in, so I'm like, man, we do that all day in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? But here in Lemon Grove, it's great to bring that together as well, to bring that community together.
Yes.
Um,
And Pastor Brian, along with
yes,
the community, brought the
hmm
first Christmas tree lighting. And we
that's
had the media, KUSI, and a couple of other TV stations was out to capture that. And I'm just so pleased because it was very well attended, and it was beautiful. And we decorated the promenade. It was just fabulous. So we might decorate the promenade just for the looks, but we might not be in there this year.
always, always, always. And I'm sure the mayor will have no problem with that because she's about community activism, working together with the community, and
Mhm.
also beautification. So I'm sure that's going to be a slam dunk there.
Yeah.
Um, hey, at this time, we want to play a short video. Just again, just looking at Lemon Grove, looking at the city, the state of the city. This is the town hall meeting. We want to see exactly what the state of the town is.
So I think we're back now.
Yeah, it seems like we were having a little technical difficulties there, but
When it,
it was the
it's
fantastic video was showing how so many people in Lemon Grove they support Mayor Racquel Vasquez. She's done so many great things in the past 4 years and is looking to continue to do more because right now the city is not repaired. The city is not, right now, this is 2020. This is COVID. We need somebody with senior leadership here to take us to the next level. Um, I'll move ahead with the question here, and again, we were kind of talking about the transparency. We were talking about some goals that you're looking to do with the city, taking it to the next level. Um, Now, here's a big question, okay, and I'm sure it's on a lot of individuals' minds, right? Can you tell us about the city budget for 2021? 2020 has been a year like none other, and I'm sure that it has had some type of effect on the city budget. Can you tell us about the future plans and how the city budget looks and how we can support that?
well, with COVID-19, the impacts to all cities throughout this country are significant. And while we are dealing with COVID-19, just know that before um, the pandemic hit, the city was also dealing with the structural deficit. Now, let me give you an overview of what the current city budget looks like. The current general fund budget is $14.7 million. Nearly 80%, that's 80% of the general fund budget pays for sheriff and fire public safety services. That leaves 20% for everything else. And our current reserves as of July 1 um, of this year are at 39.5% or 4,915 dollars. And so, like right now, again, we're at 39.5%. This funding, the reserves, is set aside for a natural disaster or an emergency. And there is a threshold that we like to maintain this funding, the reserves. That threshold is at 25%. And again, it's money set aside for a natural disaster or an emergency. And right now, we have an emergency, you know, in all cities throughout this nation are in an emergency mode. One thing that I'd like to point out here is that, um, I talked a little bit about the structural deficit, and I want to reiterate here that that independent audit was performed um, in 2017, and that audit revealed that funding was not allocated appropriately, in that the standard practice at that time was to pay staff out of gas tax and sewer fees. That is how on paper the budget looked balanced, but that is an inappropriate use of gas tax and sewer fees. A gas tax is specified to pave streets and fix our infrastructure, not to pay staff. It is inappropriate. And today, that practice is no longer in place. And because of that, along with SB 1 funding, we have been able to pave more streets. Over 54 lane miles of streets have been paved. Now, that is significant. That's significant progress for our city. But we must take care of that structural deficit. It is not going away. It is a revenue generating deficit. It is not a spending deficit. We keep our eyes on every single dollar, and we're very frugal with our spending. So I just kind of wanted to, reiterate that our budget, it's $14.7 million, and that 80% of that budget is spent on law enforcement, but also fire services.
Where it's needed the most, where it's needed the most. Because like you said, in a time of need, we have to have the budget above the watermark. And thank you for keeping the budget above the watermark, because you didn't know that this was going to happen. You didn't know there was going to be a global pandemic. You didn't know that the city was going to be in such a state. But at the you were at the forefront of the city, and you had to make things happen, and managing the budget, and not only managing it but also maintaining the budget is very important as well. um
And just know, we have more than just the pandemic that's going on. We have systemic racism issues that are popping up on a daily basis, but also the wealth, the not the wealth, but the health and well-being of our family members and our neighbors are at stake right now. So it is a very uneasy time for each and every one of us. But just know, while these issues have bubbled up and they're all rolling around simultaneously, I've continued to be laser focused on making sure that we manage our funding appropriately and that we meet the community needs. Now, you know, one thing that I want to mention here is when the uprising in Lemon Grove, not Lemon Grove, the uprising in La Mesa took place, there were minimal, essentially no impacts to Lemon Grove. There were two incidences. The windows at Rite Aid were broken. but nothing was taken out of Rite Aid, and another business, House to Home, and nothing was taken out of that business as well. And our community remained safe during the whole time, where people were out and about protesting, and incidences were occurring and popping up all over San Diego County. One thing that I can say is that when we decided to implement a curfew here in Lemon Grove, I spent my Sunday going from business to business, starting early in the morning to let them know that there would be a curfew, um, and to give them a heads up. And I went from business to business, again, starting in the morning all the way to sundown, when the curfew would be implemented. That's the kind of dedication that I have to ensuring that, number one, people are informed with the tools that I have within my capability, um, and making sure that our community is safe. And I'm happy to say that there were minimal impacts to Lemon Grove when the uprising occurred in La Mesa, and that we are moving forward and through COVID and allowing business to operate, ensuring that we are all safe as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yes, that is the type of leadership that's needed now more than ever, because of things that, like you just mentioned, some things I wasn't even aware of. Racial strifes and the issues that were going on, the whole Black Lives Matter movement, how that affected Lemon Grove. We heard about how it was affecting downtown San Diego, but nobody really reported on how it was affecting Lemon Grove. And I thank you for that information. Um,
And if I can just give you an idea of what it's like as a leader to go through something that's impacting the entire community, um, such as an uprising, um, that evening when La Mesa was being challenged with fires and everything that occurred on that night, I was up until 4 o'clock in the morning getting intel, specifically from our sheriff department, but also the FBI. And there was a list of target areas that were identified throughout San Diego County, and Lemon Grove was not on the list. And in watching some of the social media posts that were put out there, I saw a post on Twitter, and the post said, um, "Protect Lemon Grove, protect City Heights, protect um, the Fourth District." And so, we managed to move through what we were going through at that time with minimal impacts. And so, I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank all of the community members, but also the local businesses and folks surrounding Lemon Grove that love our small city, who had us close to their heart.
wow, wow, wow. Um, that's the kind of leadership that we need, especially, again, this is not going to change anytime soon. It wasn't a light switch that you turn on and turn off. This was something that affected the community, that had to be worked through. I know you've learned from that, and that's what we need. We need somebody with that type of insight. Thank you so very much. Hey, listen, we're going to close it out in a few minutes here, but I wanted to ask you. Living Grove, beautiful place. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. And no, a lot of other people are going to love it too. I guarantee you. And I wanted to talk about projected growth, right? Projected growth of the city. And also, in these hard times, people are not able to survive, and there are issues with homelessness. Can you talk for a few minutes about the growth of Lemon Grove, and also what plans they have in place for individuals who may not be able to, even in these dire times, afford a lifestyle where they may end up homeless?
So, yeah, I'll give you a brief overview of what growth looks like in the city of Lemon Grove. We're actually growing at a rate of 0.6% 0.73% annually, and our population has increased about a little over 8% since 2000, since the 2010 census. And at that time, our population was recorded at 25,320, and our population density was about 7,056 per square mile. Now, according to Sandag, our current estimated population is at 26,702. That's the current estimated rate, and our projected population growth by 2050 is about it's noted at 31,883. So that's 6,372 more people living here in the city of Lemon Grove. Um, Now, there are currently 7,890 jobs here in the city of Lemon Grove, and that number is anticipated to grow to 9,660 by 2050 in the city. What that looks like, we'll all see, or at least I hope that we'll be able to see. And in terms of housing, we have 9,076 housing units located throughout the city of Lemon Grove. And we actually have a few new construction projects that are currently underway. And by 2050, it is anticipated that we'll have about 10,423 housing units. And so that pretty much gives you an idea of what the anticipated growth looks like for the city of Lemon Grove. That means that in the future, we will have more jobs, and in the future, we will have more living opportunities here within the city of Lemon Grove.
Well, fantastic. That's exactly what we need. That's what we need, and that's what we also need to hear. We need to hear that we're on the right path. We have the right person, basically at the front of the march, and we're blazing a fantastic path into the future. Love to hear that. I want to thank you.
If I could just chime in here, I know you
Mhm.
mentioned the homeless and what we're doing with the homeless. We do have a active homeless outreach program in place, and as I mentioned before, with this new program, it is a partnership with some nonprofit agencies, and we have been able to help 90 individuals. We've provided supplies, plans, and opportunities to have temporary shelter, but also to move them to permanent shelter. And with the new grant that we got of $162,000, we are applying $100,000 of that money to boost our efforts to really try and help those who need help the most. What I know is that being homeless is not a crime, it is a condition. And there are certain parameters that prevent government agencies from physically moving people at that time. It's called the Boise Act. So there are guidelines and protocols that we have to follow. But in the meantime, we are allowing funding to really help people and to help get them off the streets.
That's what people need to hear right now. Yeah, there's a lot of problems going on. It's not just Lemon Grove; it's happening throughout the country. And it just so happens that Lemon Grove is probably one of the most fantastic places in the country to live in. So, so
Yes.
you're gonna draw people, and when people get here, they may fall on hard times. So it's glad to hear that there are um, processes in the works to deal with the homeless situation as well, because it has plagued San Diego as a whole. Thank you very much.
Yes, I did see a question about funding that was allocated about that was allocated to Lemon Grove businesses. This funding was COVID related, and so I'll kind of give a little synopsis of how that funding was managed. And so, with my leadership and guidance, we allocated $650,000 to help Lemon Grove businesses with COVID related upgrades. And those grants, because the businesses do not have to pay the money back. These are grants, were provided in up to $10,000 increments to local businesses. Now, one of the criteria for receiving a grant was that your business license was current and paid for. Um, so we received, oh goodness, about 132 or so applications. And let me just say, I know that it was over 115. So I just want to, baseline it, but it was anywhere from 115 to 132 applications. And 73 of those businesses received grants. All the grants were not $10,000. It was based on their COVID related upgrades. And we provided that money to help our businesses make those upgrades so that we could ensure that they could keep their doors open and do business. Now, our anticipated budgetary shortfall, um, COVID related shortfall, was at $1.8 million. In working with the community, our business community, and allocating grants and following the guidelines set by the county health order, our businesses were able to operate and do business. The end result of that is, rather than a 1 million dollar deficit, our budgetary shortfall at this moment is at 1.5. Now we are looking at the budget on a quarterly basis, and we're looking at the change that's taking place, and given the tax dollars that we receive, we are going to make adjustments to our budget. Our next quarterly look will be in December.
Wow. Consistently not only monitoring the budget, but keeping the information transparent to the people of Lemon Grove. That's what we need now, so much more than ever. And I thank you for that. I thank you for your community involvement. And right now, you've weathered the storm, okay? And fantastic. This is the type of leadership that we need in Lemon Grove, continuing forward. And I thank you for all that you have done and all that you will do in the future. Continuing, I love these. This is fantastic. Just having a town hall meeting where we are able to ask some questions, hear directly from you, and even having some questions answered from the chat. We need to do this more. We need to have that connection and that you've always had with the community, even though this is a different age. Okay, we have to keep that going, and I want to thank you for being for the town hall meeting. I also want to thank Ms. Joyce Moore as well. Thrive Lemon Grove, doing some great things consistently in Lemon Grove, making it a better place for everyone. And it's been my pleasure to although I'm not even a Lemon Grove resident, it's been my pleasure to work with you and also the community of Lemon Grove, the Clergy Association, always doing great things in the community, and that's what we're all about. We're looking to bring greatness to Lemon Grove. So we've been on a great path in the past, and moving forward, I know that you'll take us to some great places. Thank you so much, Mayor Racquel Vasquez.
Thank you.
And before we leave, I just want to say thank all of the organizations and the agencies within the city of Lemon Grove for the great collaboration that they continue to give. All of the agencies and the organizations work together to support this city. I also want to give a shout out to the council members who are on the ground, who are doing the grunt work along with the mayor. You see them all the time out working. And also for the city manager and her staff, they are doing a phenomenal job. And I just want to shout out Thank you so very much. And I also want to say thank you to Tracy Allen for this digital marketing supply. So this is a new thing. This is a new thing that we tried here, and I hope that you got something. I hope that the community got something from it. And so we're going to be posting it, and we ask for you all to share it. I know the mayor answered a lot of questions that a lot of people had about different things. And anything else that you want to know about the mayor and the city of Lemon Grove up under her leadership, you can find it on her website at Racquel, the number 4, mayor.com. Go there and get your questions answered. Also, she has an open door policy. You do have to make an appointment. She sees and she talks to the community on Monday evenings after 4. Thank you so very much.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. I love my city. Get involved. Let's be a part of the success of the city. Yes, go Lemon Grove, our zesty little city. All right. Bye bye now. Take care then. See you soon.
Bye.